In this session, we've got some great information from the WA State Business Development Manager, Ben from Commonwealth Bank. If you want any more information about what we talk about today, get in contact with us now. All right, so Ben, thanks for coming out today, mate. It's good to have you here. Obviously, just having a quick chat about Commonwealth Bank and having a look at what you guys are going to see ahead this year. And I guess with everything that's happening at the moment in the market, I just thought I'd pinch a few minutes from you and ask you how you're seeing it from the bank's point of view and what you're hoping to help brokers achieve this year. So I guess just to start off with, how do you like being a BDM and how you're seeing the market?
Yeah, well, mate, being a BDM, it's obviously a challenge, but it's at the same time, I do love it. So I get to deal with people like yourself. Coming from a background where I was a broker beforehand and now going back
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was a broker for a few years. 5 years.
Oh, wow, that's a fair hit.
Yeah, so I stopped that when I was I was still playing footy and that sort of thing. So I didn't have enough time to do the night appointments and everything like that. So being able to be a BDM and being able to be mobile, work from home, and you can still work as much as you like to.
Bit more of a structure though. That's right. Bit more of an 8 to 6 role instead of a 7 to 12 role.
Yeah, correct. You're right. So understanding what brokers want and what they need. So it was a perfect fit for me.
Okay.
And I've been doing back as a BDM for about 6 years now. Close to 6 years coming up.
Wow. Our biggest challenge is trying to keep up with every single bank's policy.
Exactly.
And I reckon it's the daily I'd be either ringing you or the credit team and say, oh, can you just remind me, is this policy still in place? Like, is this still, because you just don't know. Like, I don't like to take anything for granted these days because it changes so frequently. Is that similar for you?
Well, trying to keep up with one bank is hard enough. I don't know. Obviously, you guys just have it so much tougher. Yeah. And that's why, you've got to have the right people behind you and within your team too. So you're pretty lucky you've got Carolyn there that does a great job too. So I've got a great team with Sue Jin behind me as well.
She's amazing.
And that's what it's all making sure that everyone's working together on the same level. So it's never an us versus you.
No.
It's always working together to achieve the same thing for your client. Yeah, 100%. So,
cool.
But in terms of the market at the moment, look, obviously this time of year is a little bit quieter, but from what I'm hearing, and even from real estate agents I'm talking to, the inquiries picked up.
Yeah, so, the activity is there. Yeah, we haven't necessarily, I guess, seen the runs on the board yet, because I know in our world, you've got to build that pipeline. Like you've got to have probably what Carolyn and I call it hunting and farming.
Yep.
So I'll spend a few weeks hunting and then she'll do all the farming. But obviously getting the runs on the board right yet, then it's not like you look at the scoreboard, but everything else is happening behind the scenes. So it's hopefully, amping up to be a big year.
Yeah,
so
for sure. And what we're seeing as well, and what we're hearing too, obviously you guys have to do so much more work for a deal at the moment. So in terms of making sure policies fit all the compliance and getting the right deal for your customer and just making sure you're looking after them first, where we're also seeing, as people are saying that time to submit a deal takes a lot longer.
It is.
So, and even time to approval at present too. So a lot of banks are now asking for extra information. Trying to gather that information can make it a little bit tougher too. But if you get it all there, and especially with us, if you get it all there in the one load to start with, it generally sails through nice and easily. Well, I think, mate, coming from, so I obviously worked at a different bank and then came over to Commonwealth Bank, and it's just the technology was one thing that just stood out for me.
Okay.
Because I'd never had a CBA account before.
Right.
So now I've brought all of my banking over to CBA, and just the net bank and your CBA app, the CommBank app.
Is it good?
On the phone.
I've heard you guys do like cardless ATM stuff as well.
Yeah,
like how does that work?
There's so many different things you can do. So I think now they're just getting Apple Pay on board too. So
I've never used that. I don't know what it is.
I've never used it either. But so you can basically go to an ATM. You can put in, I think it's you don't obviously use your card because it's cardless, but you can just put in a
Like
code.
a code? SMSs you a code or something?
SMSs you the number, and
Wow.
then you just input that, and you can get the cash out like that. So
That's
little
cool.
things like that, but there's just so far ahead. So instant transactions where you can just transfer to someone instantly, and
Okay.
you know, looking at your spending habits and seeing how you can budget and plan and stuff.
You can
like
do
that.
all
So
that
you
within
can-
the
all
online.
within the app. So the app actually, it's quite scary actually because it shows you what you're spending your money on.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah, so
Sometimes that's maybe not a good
Uber
thing.
for me is a shocker.
Is
so-
it? Yeah.
yeah, but it is really good. It can help people out too. So it not only can help the customer, but you can sort of manage that with the customer as well. They can do simple things now like switch their home line, switch their repayment. So obviously the
All
first
online?
Yeah, all
Wow,
online. So
awesome.
first point of call, they would have probably call you anyway and say,
Yeah,
what do
just
you think?
check on it. Yeah.
And just confirm a few details and that sort of thing. And then they can easily do it. Either you can do it manually or they can just do it straight on there.
Yeah, we have that terms and conditions for switching, and we send that to the client. They can fill out the form, or they can go online. Yeah, but we normally do like to handle those processes manually for clients. Like the one thing that I don't like is just palming them off. So, oh yeah, just ring the bank. Like I know it would be quicker, but sometimes I'd rather just fill out a 6-page form and get them to do it. Yeah.
And just make sure it's right the first time.
Yep.
So yeah, and I know, you know, that's better you making it right the first time than unfortunately the customer not knowing what to do and making the mistake by themselves.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've had and that's one of the other things. The maintenance team, when they come back to us, they'll say, "Oh, look, please redo the form because this box was left out."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Oh, you know, missed it." But then you can just email it to the customer again, get them to fill it out, and you do it. So that's really good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well, mate, awesome. Thanks for coming in today. Really appreciate you giving us a bit of an insight. And yeah, I guess we look forward to having a good year together. And
Absolutely.
we'll probably get you back in if there's any changes and keep everyone updated.
For sure.
Yeah,
Thanks,
awesome.
mate. Good
All
on
right.
you.
Thanks, brother. Cheers.
Cheers.